This is Capital Games Movie Club. I am the Wiz. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm the only one here. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, surprise episode today. We're going to do the standard ones that we do on Tuesday and Friday for this week. We're reviewing Howl's Moving Castle and Fantastic Planet. So you're still expecting those. They're still coming. I thought I'd do another one by myself because I've still watched all the MCU movies, and I still intend to keep doing that. And instead of asking Kim or Zero to be like, hey, let's watch an MCU movie after they haven't seen the vast majority of them, I thought I would just do a review by myself of the latest one that just came out on Disney+, which is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That is starring Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Kathryn Newton, and Jonathan Majors. I guess we can start off by talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how the last phase was. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is the start of Phase 5, apparently, I just read, and Phase 4 ended with Thor: Love and Thunder. I can understand why some people were not really happy with Phase 4. Phase 4 tried to do a lot different, and I mean a lot different. To me, Phase 4 just felt like an experimental phase, trying to throw stuff on the wall, see what works, and also try like different things when it came to style, motif, and everything involved with the MCU, which to a point I appreciate. I like the fact that they were trying to throw stuff and see what works, what doesn't work, do something different. For an example, like one of the ones I liked, which is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it had a very dark, kind of twisted feel that I actually enjoyed with it. I actually enjoyed that one. And then, of course, Spider-Man No Way Home had nostalgia written all over it with all the multiple Spider-Men and all the old villains that came back. I mean, they were trying different things. And then Wakanda Forever, although I did like it, I liked the drama more than I liked the action, but giving those characters more depth was, I think, a very good thing for that series moving forward. I'm just not sure where they're going to go on that, really. Even the ones I didn't like tried something different. Eternals, I really liked the visual style and the way it looked. I just think it was kind of a mess when it came to the story and characters. I did like Shang-Chi. It was like an action, an Hong Kong action film to a certain extent, which I do enjoy. And even though I could not stand Thor: Love and Thunder, I even get what they're trying to do there. They're trying to make it a hair metal 80s motif slapstick comedy. It just failed utterly miserably in that one. So I can understand why people are not thrilled with the Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, mainly because there was a structure to what the first three phases were, and so people got used to that structure. So when they decided to do something wildly different in 4, I guess that really rubbed people the wrong way. We're on the Phase 5 now, which is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is starting it, and the big baddie is going to be Kang the Conqueror, apparently. We'll see if Jonathan Majors is still going to be Kang the Conqueror, but we're going to have to assume that he still will be as time goes on in this. Quantumania kind of does the same thing, really. They're trying something a little bit different, a little different style to it. So how does it work out? What do I think of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Well, we're going to find out right now as the review starts now. So like I mentioned in the preamble, I get what the fourth phase was trying to do, which is basically throw different styles of movies in there to see what it works, and to just give it a little bit of a different flavor with all the MCU movies that we haven't seen in the other three. And again, I did appreciate that, but some worked, some didn't. On Phase 5, this is now Quantumania, and this movie really reminded me of those old black and white cheesy sci-fi films. I think calling them Ed Wood sci-fi films would be a little bit insulting to a certain extent, but that's kind of the feel I was getting while watching this movie, which means when you watch it and you're used to big budget movies that are $250 million and looking utterly gorgeous, it's not what this is. It really isn't. It's still mostly computer generated graphics, but it looks cheesy. It looks kind of bad, but I think that's on purpose. I think that's the style that they were going for in this. And if you go into it with that mindset of, oh, this is kind of like a cheesy sci-fi film, potentially bad special effects, if you're in that mindset, you might be able to glean some enjoyment of it. But if you're used to big budget, supposed to look incredible when on the screen, you're going to be a little disappointed by it. Well, you're going to be very disappointed by this, because a lot of the background settings and everything in the movie looks like green screen. It's just completely green screen in this. Some of the characters are too, to a certain extent, which is very disappointing as well. So if you're looking for like a shiny, beautiful kind of thing like you would with the Avengers movies, or I would even say Black Panther would be to a certain extent, or Doctor Strange, you're gonna be pretty damn disappointed in that. And I understand too. I think the style was to go for cheesy sci-fi from the 50s and 40s. I think that's what they were going for, and I think it fits. I just don't know if that was a great idea for this movie specifically, but that's what they went through, and it's effective. I just don't think making that the first movie of the new phase was a particularly great idea. But they had to introduce the big baddie of the entire phase, which is going to be Kang, apparently, in the next few movies. Performances. The performances were fine. I mean, with the actors that you're used to. Paul Rudd's fine as Ant-Man. Evangeline Lilly is okay. Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer are good. I did like Jonathan Majors as Kang. He was effective in that. I do want to point out Kathryn Newton, who plays Cassie, which is the daughter of Ant-Man, Scott Lang, in this movie. Throughout the film, started calling her the Derek Zoolander of superheroes in this movie, because she literally had one expression on her face the entire damn time. Are you sad? Exactly the same. Are you mad? Exactly the same. Are you disappointed? Exactly the same. I just sat there going, do you have any other looks? Can you smile a little bit? What are you doing? And I don't know if this was poor direction or the actress is just not good at all. It was super distracting in this movie. I just got really distracted by her performance specifically, because it just seemed like she wasn't emoting all that well. I'm telling you, literally, you're gonna watch it and go, yep, that same face, that same look. There it is again. Are you supposed to be upset? I don't know. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Not pretty bad, really bad. It's hard to really gauge whether the performance was because of bad direction or that the actor is bad. But when you watch it, it's just like, oh God, really? But okay, fine. I mean, she's unfortunately one of the principal actors in the movie. I don't think they rely on her too much in this. When key things happen to her character, they seem to happen off screen, which kind of tells you something in the form of direction, where if the performance wasn't that great, that the editor and the director basically decided, okay, we need to incorporate her a lot less, as little as we can. And the scenes that they had to have her, like, they just put her on there and they had to deal with what they had to deal with. I'm not saying that the other performances were outstanding. I did like Jonathan Majors, but hers was a standout in probably all the wrong reasons. She was super distracting. I just sat there every time when she popped up and go, yep, that's the same look. Of course, with MCU, you're going to have fight scenes, you're going to have special effects scenes and everything like that. And as I said, the special effects are intentionally cheesy, I think, and they're intentionally supposed to be kind of bad. I just don't understand the reasoning as to why they'd make this the first of the MCU Phase 5. But for what the look, for what the feel of the movie they were trying to give, I did enjoy it. You do have to put yourself in that mentality of, okay, this is not supposed to be like super good looking and attractive. This is supposed to be cheesy. So you got to put yourself on that mindset if you want to enjoy it, I guess. And if that's not your thing, I get it. The fight scenes are decent, except for like Shang-Chi. I think the fight scenes in most of these Marvel superhero movies have become very samey. Like, Shang-Chi was the exception, mainly because Shang-Chi was modeled after Hong Kong action films. After that, they just seem kind of the same. I mean, Spider-Man, I guess, has a little bit of a differentiation, and of course, Doctor Strange does something different as well, but for everyone else, it's kind of hard to differentiate, like, what are the big scenes? What are the most exciting scenes and fight scenes in these movies? And I'm thinking back, and I don't remember much of anything. So that's kind of a problem. And the same thing with Quantumania. I just got done with Quantumania, and I can't choose one that sticks out. They're fine. In these movies, like, I'm looking back in action scenes from the other movies, like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Not this series. The Captain America, the one where the one with Robert Redford in that one. Or the scene where the helicarrier got blown up. Things like that. Or scenes from Iron Man 1. Or, there are scenes that I remember from the old MCU movies that really stand out. And I think that's the big issue I have with Phase 4 and now Quantumania, is that the action scenes just aren't that good. And that kind of is a problem in these movies. Especially when it's the action that is supposed to carry the movie. And that's the same problem I have with this. The action's fine, but it's not great. It's not like something exciting. It's not something I'm going to remember shortly after I've watched it. And I just watched it, and I'm struggling to figure what scene was what to a certain extent that was good. Like, it's passable. It kind of turns into throwaway entertainment, which is what the MCU doesn't need to be. You want them to be memorable. Like, I didn't even like Captain Marvel all that much, but there are certain scenes in that film that I liked that were action-based that I thought were much better than what's happened throughout all of Phase 4. I'll put it that way, then. Like, that's how bad they've been, I would say. Writing, the story's fine. The screenplay has some chuckles, but other than that, it's standard. It's pretty standard. It's getting kind of boring, to be absolutely honest, like the MCU. And they really need to start shaking things up writing-wise. I think, honestly, when it comes to, like, the big movies, like if they're going to do another Avengers or if they're going to do another Captain America, they need better writers. They need better script doctors. They need people that can get better dialogue and make the action scenes more interesting. They just need better writing in this. And this is the problem when you have so many projects for this MCU universe, both TV and movies. You're gonna have to hire more writers, which means you're getting less quality at a certain point. And I think that's what's been happening, really. The only thing from the MCU that I can I kind of have warm feelings for are Spider-Man No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, this is Phase 4, and then if I'm thinking of the TV series, Loki. That's it. That's all I can think of. Like, those are the only three I can think of where I'm like, hey, those are pretty good. Those are good. The rest is like, whatever. Or in the case of Thor: Love and Thunder, goddamn terrible. And it's really getting bad. It's pretty bad where I'm sitting here and I just got done with an MCU movie, and these movies are movies that I like. I actually like watching them. They're fun. But now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, this is getting kind of stale. And they need to start doing something, even if it means making less of them. Even if it means just saying, okay, we need to pull back and we'll do the whole Kang plot line. But we're going to pull back, we're going to do less movies, we're going to do less shows, and go from there. That might not be a bad idea, but I doubt they're going to do that because, they make so much money at this point. So, I don't know. Direction's fine. It's fine. For what it is, it's fine. Like, I guess that's the main problem, and I'm not doing spoilers on this either. There's no point to doing spoilers. You know what's going to happen in this movie. It's kind of hard to really go into much more detail in this movie as to what I like and don't like, because in the end, after the movie was over, I was like, okay, fine. I think the most excited I was at the end, after the end credits, when they showed a scene with Loki and Mobius, I think the name of the guy that Owen Wilson played in the Loki series. Like, the thought of, another Loki season 2 would be great. That's the most excited I was in this movie. This is so bad. Oh my god. If you would have told me after Endgame that after that the most excited I would be for any property of the MCU would be a Loki TV series, I probably would have asked, oh my god, what happened? And that's where we are right now. For me, like, the only thing I'm interested in is that Loki TV series at that point. Like, that's pretty bad. And I'm not even saying Loki Season 1 was fantastic. It was good. It was interesting. It was fine. No one other Spider-Man is probably not happening. With the way they ended Spider-Man No Way Home, I think that's the end. I'm not particularly excited for Captain America. I don't know why they turned Falcon into Captain America. It might turn out good, but I don't know about that. Like, the directions that they've been going in the TV series and in the movies, I'm not thrilled with it. And I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 either. And I'm kind of on Guardians of the Galaxy, but I do want to see it. And even though I kind of liked the trailer for the Marvels, I'm not entirely thrilled to see that either. So yeah, I'm kind of at a point now where if it starts getting really bad, like if the quality doesn't go up to a certain extent, I might just drop out of the MCU. And that, I think I'm not the only one who thinks that way. So yeah, this is really becoming more of a review of the MCU as a whole for Phase 4 and Phase 5, because mainly Ant-Man and the Wasp is serviceable. I mean, it's not bad, it's not great, calling it good's kind of a stretch, but, you know, if you want to kill 2 hours, fine, you could do worse. That's how I look at Ant-Man and the Wasp. My god, that sounds terrible. But yeah, I mean, that's all Ant-Man and the Wasp is. It's serviceable. My final thoughts, well, like I just said, Ant-Man and the Wasp is fine. It's a good way to kill 2 hours. It's entertaining. It's got some chuckles in it. And the action's okay. Nothing memorable. I think that's the key thing that I have to just point out. It's nothing memorable. It's nothing really that I will sit there and go, oh, did you remember that scene in Quantumania? No, I'm not at all. Like, I mean, I don't think that at all in this. Like, it's fine to kill for 2 hours. Thank God it was just 2 hours, because this was 3 hours. I think I would have not been happy. But yeah, I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. I can't say it's bad. I just can't say it's good either. It's perfectly serviceable. That's all I can give it in this point. So 2.5 stars for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.